Now we're keeping it real. We're keeping it real. Bad's goods.
I was set on the finish line and not looking at the small details.
I got more. If I say all of them, we'll be running out of time here. And that cost me a deal.
Cost you a deal.
That was a rough day.
Listen, I'm looking for hidden gems, and I will see some distressed, beat up, hole in the wall, crazy soft spot foundation, full house. I'm not scared of it. I see potential in it.
You can put $1 million into a house, but the market is going to dictate what it's going to sell.
That's exactly right. That's correct.
So you can tell me, I'm going to put $500,000 into this home, and it should sell at $1 million. No, sir, because no house in that area has sold for at $1 million.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Romero Podcast. Today we have the two newest members of the Romero Capital Group. We have my best friend here, Luis, and we have the infamous Chile Man.
The infamous
Chile Man.
Thank you for having me here.
This is coming to you raw, no script.
Yeah,
no
unfiltered.
Directors unfiltered. Come on, this is live from the gutter.
Today we're going to talk about a few things that I think will be helpful for a lot of people that are interested in, doing fix and flip and things of that nature. We have a couple topics we want to talk to you guys about. One of the main topics that I have gone through, you have gone through a lot. You have gone through quite a bit, and you not so much because you are on a different department.
Listen, I'm on the front lines.
Yes.
Listen,
yeah, he is.
I'm going to war for y'all. I got snipers. I got some Falcons as well over there.
We got everything.
So we got it all. We got it all.
All right. So the main topic is let's talk about let's talk about mistakes that we've made. In our deals. I'll start by saying the first mistake I ever made was actually my first lending deal. I was new to the game, and this was before we even had offices or anything like that. This was me in the living room of Daniel, just talking on the phones and learning about the whole lending process. I literally go to this lady and I tell her, mind you, she's in Florida. I tell her we can do 100% financing in Florida. And I gave her 75% of the ARV with, what was it? Yeah, up to 75% of the ARV. And I told her, hey, we can do this for you. And she drove 2 hours from where she was to go look at a house.
Champ.
And then my boy Daniel comes back and I tell him what's going on. I'm all excited. Yes. He's like, bro, in Florida, we don't do 100. I was like, what? He's like, it's okay. You're still learning. That stuck in my head. Yeah. And I was like, I felt so bad. She was like,
at that time, you guys were doing what? Like 80
No, we were still doing 100.
Just not in Florida.
Just not in Florida.
Yeah.
And
different market.
Yeah. And
different
so I was excited. Nonetheless, I was excited about it, but it went south really fast. Lady was mad, never called me again. And today we're here. That's one of my mistakes. I got plenty more, but you can go ahead and chime in on your mistakes.
No, I think mine, like my first one that really pissed me off, that it was my fault because, as you guys know, that me and Chile Man and Daniel and Javier, we all come from insurance.
Yep.
And, towards the end, at the closing line, or at the, finish line, there you go. At the finish line, we just got to gather insurance, right? And because of my mistake and not looking at the policy, the dwelling coverage wasn't the loan amount. It was maybe $20,000 off.
Was it the purchase amount?
Yeah, it was because remember it has to cover the purchase and the rehab.
The rehab, yeah.
And I did not it was $20,000 short, and because of that, it pushed back the closing date for a week. And I mean, Daniel got on me. He's just like, man, you do this, like you've done insurance, and but at that point in time, like I was just so happy. Like I was like, yo, like we're gonna get this deal. Like the nerves are like all over the place, and I just was set on the finish line and not looking at the small details.
Thanks to you, I was able to never make that mistake.
Well, that's the thing. Like we and that's
we learn from each other.
No, and that's the beauty. I feel like that's the beauty of all of us. Like like we all mess up.
Yep.
And just because, all right, like Chile Man messes up, we're all like, we're not gonna make that mistake.
Yep.
And I think that the culture we have here is just we're all here for each other, and like even if, for instance, like I made the mistake, I would make sure that you guys don't make the same mistakes, and I know you guys would do the same for me. So I love that we have that here, man. Like that sense of camaraderie.
You ever had someone tell you, "Hey, make the dwelling $20K over the coverage"? I've had plenty.
No, I haven't had that. No.
So you typically, when you do the insurance, you do it for the exact amount. But I've had plenty buyers tell me make it $20K over. So like, let's say the loan total is 180, they'll be like, make it 200. They don't pay. I mean, the difference is pennies. Like the difference for 20K that they pay is pennies. So instead of making it for that exact amount, I encourage you to probably boost it up another 10, 15K just to give them a little cushion if anything were to go south.
I'm not mad at that.
At the deal. They weren't. They're not even gonna notice it. Like the payment is probably like $5-6 more for like 15, 10 racks. So that's what I do for all my insurance covers. I make the dwelling a larger amount. Not much.
Yeah,
I mean,
I like that.
10, 15K over. So if anything does happen, like I said, they're covered fully.
Yeah,
beautiful.
sure.
So
Chile Man, I know you got a good one.
I got more. If I say all of them, we'll be running out of time here. But I think the biggest one for me was we had a house, right? The investor liked it. He was ready to move forward on it. And, we do ask for tax returns, right? So now we don't check your income. However, we do look at tax returns just to make sure that you don't owe any money to the IRS, just to make sure that you're in good standing with them, right? The one thing that we don't want is the IRS to take the house from you, right? So we do look out in a way. So I did ask for that, and he got really mad at me. He's like, "You don't check your income, blah blah blah." No, I'm not doing that, and he pulled out. So I mean, I'm saying like you can't please everybody. Those are the things that I should have mentioned it earlier, but we do ask for them, right? So I should have mentioned it earlier. I didn't, and that cost me a deal.
Cost you a deal.
Cost me a deal.
That was a rough day.
But here's the thing: I look at it like in a positive way with everything that I do. So like it's a mistake that I made
with my insurance.
right, and I'm never gonna make that mistake again.
That's
there you go.
That's the way I look at it.
Cup half
I'm
full,
sure-
man.
And the thing is, man, if
Come
the
on now.
podcast that we did would have came out a little bit before that, you would have known that.
There you go.
Yeah.
It came
That's
out a little
beautiful.
later.
So I'm relatively
Yeah.
new, I should have asked for it, and I didn't. So shut myself. in
Oh
the foot.
yeah, because I did bring that up.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah, I did bring that up.
But that's the good thing is it's like we just learn from it. And it just makes us better. More
Yes.
aware, and knowing that like we cover everything. Like we make sure that, especially now, like when I'm sending out like the end, like I'm just making sure like everything looks good, just so that we don't run into that, because it holds up a lot of things, and the smallest thing can just.
They're like I always compare real estate or what we do to like an engine in a car. You have an engine. The engine needs a transmission. The transmission needs everything: the wheels, the tires.
Yeah.
It's a lot of moving parts to get someone to the finish line.
That's true.
Don't get me wrong. The fastest closing I think I ever had was probably like 3-4 days.
Some of
from
them are
start
quick.
to finish. Yeah.
Some of them are quick.
Yeah. Some do.
We've seen them.
Yeah. Some are fast.
because
Some are slow.
every deal is different. Sometimes you're waiting on the sellers or.
Oh yeah,
What we ran
Different
into
thing.
recently was will. Like the property was through a will, so we had to wait for all that. So there's a lot of different variables that sometimes it's out of your hands.
Or title
Yeah.
issues.
And that's
title
the thing.
issues, attorneys
Title
taking their
Exactly.
sweet time, which
So
is
it's-
cool.
and the thing
Everybody's
is
busy.
like what had like I know this is we've talked about it. Like with this, like you have to have patience,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and a sense of urgency at the same
Correct.
time. You have to find that balance, you know, because
You cannot depend on one deal.
Exactly.
Yep.
You know, you have to be patient in the fact that there's certain things that are out of your control, right? But you have to be urgent in the sense of I want to make sure that I have everything right there, ready for that. So they're not waiting on us anymore.
Yeah.
You know. So
That is huge. That is my
yes,
biggest
man.
thing. Waiting on me. I don't want a deal to be dependent on me.
Absolutely.
So the first thing I'm gonna do as soon as we get a property under contract is I tell them, all right, now we need to start working on the insurance.
This is go
Do you
time.
want me to help you with the insurance? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So that way, when it's ready, I already have the quote ready to go.
Yep.
You do your. I literally tell them you do your due diligence on the insurance. You go as far as you want. You look under a rock if you have to for your insurance. But I got you a quote right here, right now.
Yep.
You let me know if you want to move forward. Go ahead. I'll give you 3 days. They come back usually all the time. Nah, yeah, yours is cheaper. Let me
Yeah.
go there. And I'm like, all right, we should have did this from the start. He's like, you know, some people are like, well, I like to. Fine, no problem. That's why I give you that time.
Out of 5, how many come with their own insurance?
None.
None.
Maybe. Well, unless we're lending in like
Maybe. Well, yeah.
in another state, then I can't help you.
Yeah. For instance, like our
Correct.
Nashville deal.
Correct.
Like, we
That's
can't
in
we can't
Kentucky.
use our person
Correct.
because they're not licensed. So yeah, but all of my deals.
My
they've
North
used
and
our
South
guy.
Carolina
Yeah.
deals, they use the insurance guy that we
Yeah.
use.
Yep.
Beautiful.
And I always tell them, yo, I can get you cheap, good insurance.
Yeah.
They're like, all right. They take their time and they come back. Yeah, let's go with that. I think that they're not really shopping around. I think they're just waiting.
Yeah. for
And then
sure.
it's like, hey, yo, we're about to close. What's up with this insurance? Okay, you know what? Let's just go ahead and get it. All right, there you
It
go.
makes sense. It makes total
Insurance
sense
is
in the world.
probably one of the, for us, thankfully, we simplified it,
Yeah.
right? Because usually, I remember it taking two days. Remember with the other insurance guy we used to have, it used
Yeah.
to take 2 days to get a house insured.
Yeah.
Between underwriting and approving and all of this, it would take 2 whole days, and so we would have to start the process really early. Now we can literally have a quote same day.
Yeah, because there's certain things that like we do our best to make every deal as simple as it
Oh, yeah.
can be.
100%
But as it
true.
can be, because with real estate, it's not simple.
No.
But we've
Just
gone
know
through
we
the
fight.
fire. We've learned, like, you know, Javier and Daniel, they've learned through trial and error, you know.
Correct.
So I feel like the program and the system we have now is just like we just make it easier. So
Such a beautiful blueprint.
And it, you know,
Such a
and
beautiful
that's
blueprint.
the beauty of us.
Yep.
You know.
Do you have any mistakes?
Yeah, everybody has mistakes.
No, I mean, in this,
Everybody
in
has
this
those
industry.
days.
In this industry,
Man,
do you
is
have
that
any?
Hannah Montana? Was that Hannah
It was
Montana? I think so, bro.
It wasn't that so rare. It's one of them. Come on now.
But yeah,
Anyway,
what's up, man?
bro, everybody makes mistakes.
I can't recall any you've made.
Bro, yes, bro. What you mean? I
Here?
mean, you know, calculating.
Oh,
not
bro,
necessarily wrong.
Because if
ARVs.
that's the case, we're all wrong. Then.
Come on, yeah. I mean,
Because when we try to get ARVs,
mind you, we're 120% conservative with the after repair values, and even sometimes we get them
bro,
off by 10, by 5.
Yeah, but I'm gonna one up you there. I think we're 150%.
Yes. Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing because that guarantees you that your investment is a home run. Because we look at so many things, bro. We look at this market analysis, look how these houses in the area are selling. We go to
What
Google
street they're
Maps,
on.
street views, make sure there's no bando across the street. There's pockets. There's so many pockets. Fayetteville,
Because
Charlotte.
we care about
Correct.
We care
So
about
we
it.
got to make sure I'm getting quality product. Some people come to you guys, Alan, Andy, Chile Man, with their own properties already, right?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I got this deal. I think it's a good one. But when I tell you, I can get this same house. If you got it for 150, I guarantee you, I can get it for 110, if not 100 flat. Why not come to us to look for a property? This is because I'm behind the scenes. I'm behind the curtain. Daniel's my witness. He is also doing the same thing I am, and he can guarantee you the same thing, that we are negotiating these prices to get them at a better price for you. Because, another thing, if we're giving you $50K in rehab, bro, take it. Take it. Because it's better to have something and not use it than not to have it.
What if
and
they need
it.
more?
There's cases like those, but that comes down to
Planning?
if the deal works.
Organization?
Some deals are better than others, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Correct. So some deals we might be able to get you more for rehab. Depends on the negotiation of the other person, the seller. How willing are they? How flexible are they? How much wiggle room they have? So many things come into factors.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but sometimes my biggest thing is getting someone as close to that rehab as possible. Now, guaranteed, it's never gonna be exactly what you need.
Correct.
It's gonna be. I mean, there's. I don't think there's ever been a time where I've given someone exactly what they needed and they use anything under it. I think it's always been a little bit more than what.
Yeah, I mean, but that comes with experience, right? There's a lot of
We
people
do this
that
every day.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is like a
course.
lot of our people, they'll shoot for like a high number of like, all right, let's just say they need $60,000 in rehab, and then, we can only offer 50, like you with experience you can make that work because
Correct.
you save money in other places.
No.
And that's what I always pitch to our investors is like, where can you save money? Like you have to be very frugal with your money in the sense of how you're spending it and making sure that you're not depleting all of your rehab, and that's
Having a lot of connections has a lot to do with that.
that too is just
Yeah, don't just shop at one spot.
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
When you,
Yeah,
when you
that's the
shop
thing.
around,
A lot of people they just stick to their
just because you
their
trust
people.
them, don't
Yeah.
mean they're giving you the best price.
that's correct.
No,
You know, and I always tell that
at
to
the end of the
people.
day, it's all about money, right?
Yep.
This is what, and people want to make money. So it's just, you have to shop around. You have to talk to different people, get different quotes for different, bathrooms or kitchens. I can have a guy that'll charge me $4,000, but Chile Man might have a guy that charges him like $3,000.
That's right.
You have to make sure that you do your job in trying to get the most out of, and save the most with any deal.
We just
That's
had this
correct.
happen just now,
Mm-hmm.
right? You had somebody go to this house. They said $100K in rehab. I had the same
Perfect example.
Same house.
Thanks to you, I have that same guy going
same
back
house,
Yeah.
and saying
different
That's
budget.
right.
I told
not
him-
by just 10K,
Yeah.
over 40K difference.
Yeah, but I
That's the
told that
difference.
guy, I was like, yo, bro, why am I getting quoted 65 for this house and you're giving me 100? He's like, oh, bro, because the foundation's bad. I got to restructure the whole downstairs. He's like, as soon as I come into the house, you got to walk through the main room to get to the kitchen. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you do got to restructure the whole house. So, like, maybe your guy didn't see that. But then again, thanks to that, I was able to tell my guy, yo, go over there and look at it and give me conservative numbers.
That's right.
Because what are you talking about here? He's like, well, I had already looked at it 2 weeks ago. I was like, well, go back and give me, like, if you were going to do this, because you are going to do this. And he was like, all right, I'm 5 minutes away. Let me go there and I'll give you more accurate numbers. And I was like, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the process from the
Enough
beginning.
of the bad.
Yeah.
Now we're keeping it real. We're keeping it real. Bad's goods.
Yeah,
Nothing
this
filtered.
is
Yeah,
on a
this is-
day to day,
yes, this is things
and I feel
we-
like there's still a lot more that we
yeah.
can tell you guys on like what's actually happening and like how things work, because we're constantly on the phones, moving, talking to people all day, every day.
That's what we do.
There's times we get home and I get calls like at 7:30 talking about, hey, I got this deal. I'm like, bro, it's 7:30. What do you? But let's look at it real fast. And then there's other times where I have a deal pending already and I'm on the phone with this person and we're on the phone for like 2 hours. We're talking about the deal, things like that. But yeah, we can go on a tangent and tell you guys our day to day, and it would be more than probably like 30 minutes a lot of time that we have here. But let's talk about the beginning process of a deal. What does that look like? Like, let's take somebody from the beginning to the end. What does that look like for you guys? Well, I know for you it's different.
I think it starts with me.
Yeah,
because I'll find.
So here we go. It starts with you, and it ends with us. So here from the source.
Beautiful. So, listen, I'm looking for hidden gems. Like Chile Man, I am also a half full cup type of guy. So I will see some distressed, beat up, hole in the wall, crazy soft spot foundation, full house, and I'm not scared of it. I see potential in it. I do the market analysis. I check the area, make sure there's comps, make sure there's activity going on around, good activity, not vandal activity, that is, of course. Listen, as soon as I find it, even if I don't have it locked in under contract, even if I haven't called yet, when I know I find something good, I go ahead and let these killers know. Guys, I got a Fayetteville deal that's looking crazy. What's the first thing you ask me? What's the ARV? What's the after repair value
because at the end
like?
of the day, it's all about numbers. And
Correct.
It has to make sense.
Numbers.
We're factual.
So
numbers.
Run the numbers. Make sure they're making sense. Make the call. Already, try and negotiate a little bit. Ask them if there's wiggle room. What can we do? What do they think about the ARV? What do they think about the rehab cost? And after that, we send somebody out there. Mm-hmm. We always got some people that are interested.
Let me ask you something, Luisito. So, you look at houses every day.
Yes.
Every minute.
Yes.
Right? And these are just very unique houses too, by the way. So out of 100 houses that you look at, how many of those will you say, you know what? You got to move quickly on this one. Because that's, like you said, a hidden gem.
Yeah.
How many out of 100 houses that you look at?
Okay, let's not say 100. Let's say 10.
I was just giving you a number.
Yeah. Let's say 10 just so we can do smaller numbers. I think for every 10 hidden gems that I think are potentials, bro, more than half are actual good hidden gems. If, obviously, they can be negotiated at the right price, right? Because the first step or one of the first steps to deal making is knowing when to walk away. Mm-hmm. I know when to walk away, right? I know when to walk away when they're not budging, when there's no room. Hey, listen, X, there is no hard feelings. I know this property is going to sell. You're probably going to get close to asking. Mm-hmm. If I'm under that, I'm under that. If it doesn't work for me, we can just move on to the next. No hard feelings. Yeah, they always come back for more.
Because that's the thing, is just like when you're dealing with all these people that, the homeowners, they're very emotionally attached to the home, and that makes them very blind to the actual value of the home. Correct. They'll be like, oh, this house down the street sold for $350, mine can. It's just like, but it's not the same style.
It's not the same. It's not brick.
Yeah, it's not brick. This is siding, so it's just It's got 3 full bathrooms. Yours only has 1.5. Mm-hmm. If I wanted to sell it for that, I have to go in here and add another full bathroom. Mm-hmm.
And that takes time. Time is money.
Listen, they'll tell me. Time is money.
Time is money.
Listen,
you can ask anybody.
Listen,
have 24 hours in a day.
Agents, personal sellers. Well, hey, this house has a lot of potential. Mm-hmm. Man,
and they use like 5
you get this one a lot,
points.
right? I want to test the market.
How expensive is potential?
Maybe 2 months. And close within a week.
Hey, Chile Man, how expensive is potential?
It can be excessive.
Potential's expensive. Yeah, I can sell it for $500,000. How much will it take me to get it there, right? So that's where I come in, negotiating, making sure that when Alan sends a GC over there or a potential borrower to look at it, we already know the numbers are looking good. There's wiggle room, and you're going to get it for a good price. When it comes time to sell, it's in a good area. There's a lot of good activity going around a lot of comps, a lot of fix and flips around the area. So that way,
one thing I always tell one of my all of my customers, you can put $1 million into a house, but the market is going to dictate what it's going to sell.
That's exactly right. That's correct.
So you can tell me, I'm gonna put $500,000 into this home, and it should sell at $1 million. No, sir, because no house in that area has sold for at $1 million. Yeah. The highest house probably sold for like 400.
Yeah.
So it's like, you got to also be realistic with the market as well. And a lot of people don't understand that because then they end up getting attached to these homes. Like, oh my God, I love it. You know, this, that, and the third. Yeah, but you can't, you know, like this house is not going to sell for nowhere near where you want to sell it.
Correct.
It's the market dictates these things, you know?
Which, by the way, I mean, a lot of our ARVs, you know, sometimes our investors, they exceed what our ARV.
yeah, we talked
You
about
had that
on the
happen.
previous
Yep.
podcast.
Yep.
Yeah. Record right there.
And they're gonna keep going too. It's not gonna be the last one.
Yeah, actually, they did one, and their first one with us. They did their first one with us, and now they're looking for 2. They already have another one under contract,
They came back.
and they're looking for 1 more to get from us.
Pow, pow, pow.
So, and yeah, so now they're back. He has one. She's done with it. It's on the market, right?
Yeah.
And she came back today.
Shout out to her. Shout out to
the client. And she, well, not blindly. I wouldn't say blindly because she did look at the property, but
No, she did a hell of a job on that one too.
she's powerful.
She did a hell of a job, and
Hey.
that's how she's able to get more money.
Yes.
No, yeah, she definitely did her
Snap.
You gotta
thing.
put in some work. It's not as easy as, oh, I'm gonna buy a house and just put it. No, you do have to.
You
do have to do some work
in the
to it.
details, you know.
Details,
Yeah.
man. Details.
The
for
proof is
everything.
also in the pudding.
That's a fact.
She did go off. I will condemn her for that. Shout out to you.
Yeah. You know who you are.
Yeah, or it's not condemn, it's commend.
Commend.
Sorry, wrong word. But okay, so it starts here, right? Starts here with him, and then it trickles down to us.
How does that look like Chile Man?
Yeah, how does that look like?
Chile Man, when I come to you, Chile, I got something and got stone you, baby.
When we do have a house, it's go time. You have buyers, I have buyers or investors. It's go time, right? It almost seems like it's a bidding war, essentially, almost, right? Because it's whoever wants it first. Where some of these houses, they have somebody in there, right? Some of them don't. So it's a matter of, the numbers already make sense. So we already done that work for you. It's a matter of who wants to do it and who wants to do it first. So I give you all the tools that you need, right? And I already make sure that you can at least get based on the experience, right? Or based on how much liquid you have. We already know that you can do this, right? It's a matter of who wants to do it.
Yeah, so how do you, like, when we get the homes from either Daniel or Luisito, like, how do you pitch it to your clients? Like, what does that phone call look like?
That phone call is quick. Like, I got this property. It's hot, right? And the one thing that I've had the most issue with is how far the property is, right? And some of this, I get it, right? You don't want to drive an hour to see a house, but that's what I have, right? It's, you want to make money. Like, I'm telling you, the numbers work, right? I'm asking you to drive an hour, and I promise you, I'll make it worth your while. Do you want to do it or not? It's going to come down to that.
Yeah. And
Chile Man, parenthesis question real quick. When you call, are you sitting down or standing up?
I'm standing up all the time. I'm standing up. Some of the times
But
I'm
that's not a cold call.
yeah.
But listen,
no, but I normally make
it's a cold call in the aspect that it's a brand new property.
It's fresh,
you're
but he's
showing
been talking to these people
No,
for a minute.
and to the point where it almost feels like I'm annoying them, but I'm annoying them because I want you to succeed. I want you to make money.
Hey,
I
but
want you to win.
Hey, but the thing
I'm
is
not-
that they still pick up, right?
No, they pick up all the
That's
time
right,
So
they
you're not
pick up.
annoying
because I'm
them.
not
But
wasting
listen,
their time.
when I call a new wholesaler, or not a new wholesaler, a wholesaler that I have dealt with, trying to make a second closing with them or a third, cold call as in the aspect, hey, listen, this is a new deal. I'm standing up. I'm not sitting down. It's go time, baby.
It's still on that.
It's go time.
He's like, I gotta make my point.
I'm making my points clear.
He's
Listen,
a boy.
you got killers. You got 4 killers.
And we don't want to waste your time, right? So if we
that's my
tell
biggest
you
pet peeve too.
the worst
That's
thing
a
that
fact.
anybody can do is waste your time, give you wrong information, or promise you the world where they can deliver it. We telling you the numbers work. Do you want to do this? That's the answer.
That's the question.
But that's the question. I'm sorry.
The answer is yes or no.
That's right.
However, my biggest pet peeve when I talk to my customers is you guys are. I feel like, for me personally, I hate chasing. I hate chasing. I have customers that I call and they'll call me right back or they'll answer me. But man, chasing these people sometimes it's like, yo, why are you wasting time? Like, get on it.
Yeah, it's because I mean the thing is a lot of our investors, everybody has a different mindset in how they view things. Like, you know, like I can send one of my investors to a house and they'll be like, yeah, this is not gonna work. But yours is like, yeah, this is gonna work. You know, it's just
like that Canapolis deal.
Exactly. You know,
all of mine passed.
Exactly.
Flying colors. You had 3 people that were interested in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, no. None of my investors were
you
like,
know, and
no.
and that's you just know your audience, right? You know, you like, I know, but also they'll surprise you. You know, they'll be like, you'll send them and be like, oh, they probably won't. I'll just send it, but they probably won't, you know, want to get the home and they get it. You
That's
know?
right.
Man,
you know,
I've brought people back from the dead.
That's what I'm saying.
I was just gonna bring that subject up, bro.
I've brought people back up from the dead. Somebody had passed on a house and they were like, nah, I don't want it. And I was like, bro, but why don't you want it? Look at these numbers.
That makes all the sense.
Look at how juicy this bone is. It has a lot of meat on it. You're going to leave that there? All right. I'm going to go back. Look at the house.
Yep.
He goes
3
back.
times to look at it.
He went thrice. He went thrice
Yes,
to look at the house. And he was like, all right, I'm getting it. And I was like, all right, cool. So the last time I spoke to him about the house in particular, he's like, man, I'm going to bring this to 600,000 ARV. And I was like, bro, be my guest.
We had.
I believe in him.
Be my guest, bro.
We were literally fighting. One of my investors and one of your investors, they were literally fighting for the same house.
Oh, yeah.
To the point
it's the race of the
that
wire.
it's a race to the wire. We had 2 wires
Race
coming
to the
into the
wire.
same day, and his went first. So.
Hey, what a great session this was.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for
we're going to end
listening.
it on this note. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.
And
And follow as
Shout
well.
outs.
Yeah. This is going on YouTube, so our time's cut short, but we'll see you guys on the next one.
I know you guys want us
We'll
back.
have other guys on here and hopefully
more stories to tell.
Yeah, more stories to tell.
That's
if
right.
you guys are interested, this is where, we're at
Yes.
Romero Capital Corp. You can find us. We have a website. You can look at it. If you have any questions, fill out the thing, and then one of us will reach out to you guys, and we'll get you guys locked and loaded on some deals.
Inquiries,
Let's
baby.
go.
Inquiries. Let's
Yes,
get
sir.
it.